Well, Growers Edge, I think, has made us more money by allowing me to survey the local bids that I'm in the area that I want to sell my grain. The local elevators and the ethanol plants know that this information is out there, so they've got to be competitive if they want to get the grain. You know, we've been able to maximize our return on our farm.
Good afternoon, welcome to GrainTV. My name is Cody Bills. Logan Burgess. Today is the 31st. It's a Thursday. We had export sales out early this morning. Let's just see where we closed off the day here. Corn for December trading down 4.5 cents. Wheat in Chicago trading up 3/4 cent for that same December contract. And new crop soybeans here trading up 3/4 cent. Mostly unchanged there for wheat and soybeans. What do we see in exports?
Well, we finally got some interest for U.S. wheat here in that export sales report. 801,000 metric tons reported sold last week. Big sales going to Nigeria, Panama, and Brazil. So that was good to see here for the wheat market. Those large export sales is really something that we haven't seen over the last several weeks. Looking at corn, old crop sales missed expectations. We did see some pretty good sales, though, booked for the new crop here. But I think one area that caught a lot of traders' attention is what we saw on old crop beans. 187,000 metric tons sold reported there, and a very strong 1.268 million tons reported sold on the new crop as well. So good showing there for the soybean complex. As I said, though, a lot of focus still on those old crop soybean sales.
Absolutely, and when you take a look at the old crop soybean sales here, we have a model of where we are in terms of meeting USDA expectations. You'll see that old crop soybeans, we were able to move from 63 million bushels ahead of pace to meet USDA expectations up to 67 million bushels. That's a 4 million bushel increase, and you can see here it was a pretty strong week. You know, the red line is kind of what we'd expect. It's the 4-year moving average for sales during this time of the year, and you can see we had pretty good sales here. So we were able to kind of turn higher. That's what the green line here represents, is the number of bushels we're ahead of pace to meet USDA expectations.
Yeah, that's obviously a balance sheet item that's going to be looked at for the old crop on August 12th from the USDA. Still a lot of questions remaining about what the USDA is going to do with the balance sheet. We saw some very strange moves in the July report, and this export sales number is something that's gotten a lot of attention. Going to need to be moved higher from everything that we're seeing here at the moment. Corn, on the other hand, Cody, what's going on there?
Yeah, well, we actually saw the pace needed to meet USDA expectations, and what we've been observing, we've actually slipped here. We went from about 42 million bushels ahead of pace, down 4 million bushels to 38 million bushels ahead of pace. You can see this week was very disappointing. This week's sales was about 40% less than last week. Yep. So all in all, really very old crop, disappointing week here for corn.
Yeah, Cody, you know, if we take a look here at the technical action that we saw today, looking at the changes on the day, not a lot to really talk about, but as you can see here from these two charts, the soybean pit had a lot of action in it today. The chart on the left is a 5-minute chart, so each bar is representing 5 minutes worth of trade action. The chart on the right here is a daily chart with each bar there being 1 day worth of trade action. You can see here this bean market was kind of trending higher throughout the day, but toward the end of the close, we saw a lot of sellers enter this market. As you can see, though, from the daily chart, ended the day relatively unchanged. You know, Cody, this is a market sold off substantially since that June 30th acreage report, but here over the last couple weeks, it looks like a market that's kind of struggling to find a bottom. What does a day like this kind of tell you about direction on this market?
Well, first of all, it seems as though we have at least found a short-term bottom. You know, we are on the lower side of the range that we've been trading in for the last couple weeks, so I think it's important to keep that in mind. When you look at the 5-minute chart, like what you were talking about here, of course, the last 5 minutes, we did see a lot of selling pressure enter the market. We didn't trade down a significant amount of points here, but we did see a lot of volume relative to what was traded throughout the day. Right. But when you take a step back, you look at that in terms of where we are in the daily chart, you'll see that we are kind of right near the lower side of the range here, and we might find support down around this kind of 1070 area. I would kind of expect here in the next couple days possibly to trade up and